know if anybody else just had this like sense of accomplishment when you finished your first sweater. Yes, it is exactly what you think it is. No, I don't think I can say that word on here. I'm pretty sure, but if you think it is what you think it is, it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Steve's Stitches, podcast number 9, if you don't know sign language. So today I have an exciting thing to say. I have finished my first sweater. So I've attempted to make things in the past. I end up frogging them. I don't like them. This is not perfect by any means, and I'll explain why. And if you follow me on TikTok, you'll know why, because I've talked about this and I've put it on there and I've asked questions, but I have finished my first sweater. So today's finished object is a big one, literally and figuratively. So I don't have it on right now, obviously, because it's actually been in the dirty clothes and it's kind of warm up where I am in the house. And so I don't want to wear it right now, but I'm going to show you here in my TikTok what it looks like. This is the Yoga Winter Sweater by whoever this is right here. I don't remember who it's by. But yes, so this is the sweater and got my sleeves. Ta-da-da. As you saw in the video, it's got this deep V. Now, this is not blocked at all. And as you saw in the video, I have not blocked it. I haven't washed it. I haven't done anything. I did wear it out one day and it is warm. So where I live right now, we've kind of been hovering anywhere from 30s to we popped up into the 50s right now. And I wore this on a day that it was like closer to the 50s so that I could just wear this and not have to pop a coat on outside. So as you can see, this collar is not what the pattern says. Now, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but anything that's like turtleneck-like, and it's gonna be like too close to my neck, which probably totally contradict myself later when I show you one of my whips. But I don't know, I think it's just a collar thing. Turtlenecks, I just can't do. I probably could, but like it's a sensory thing. I don't know. So I attempted to do a folded collar. Now, as you can see in the video, that this kind of sits a little bit wider than what I would like. I would have liked it to be just a little bit, but I didn't make the collar that long because I was just kind of in a rush. And it looks a little like tubular rounded, I guess you would say. It's not firm, like it doesn't fold flat, if that makes sense. And I don't know if I blocked it out, if I could, make a difference. But this yarn is Red Heart Super Saver brushed, very cheap acrylic yarn. It does have a halo effect. I'm gonna be able to see that because of it being brushed. So it almost kind of looks like it has mohair in there, which is kind of cool. But I do have to say, I would not probably use this yarn again. Now, me saying that, I have a whole another stash of this yarn. I think I might, I don't know. I think I still have a whole nother stash of this exact yarn, except in a kind of army olivey, like a dark olive green. And I might make something with it just because I don't want it to go to waste. I've given away a lot of yarn and I don't know. It wasn't that much to get it, but I don't know. So I haven't decided. However, I do have to say, this is worsted weight yarn. It's acrylic, so you're gonna run hot in this. If it was anywhere like inside like if I was inside doing a job and I'm just like, let's say I was just walking around the house or whatever, if I started doing too much, I was getting too warm in this. So wearing it out and about would be okay, but I think you would get too warm in this just to wear it for everyday use most places. Comfort-wise, it is very soft, very comfortable, I have to say. And now here's the thing. So I'm going to show you again in this video here, see if I could stop a clip here, of it's too big for me. Now this is my fault. You're going to say, Jill, did you do a gauge swatch? I did. Did you do a second gauge swatch? I did. Did you do your measurements and figure it out with the pattern? Yes, I totally did. Here's where the issue came in. I didn't trust myself. So I've said this in my TikToks and whatnot, but in the pattern, and when you look at the designer, and I don't know if it's the designer that's modeling it or it's just another person, they are wearing it very oversized, okay? I do not remember in the picture what that person is wearing and what the size is, but it is very, very oversized, okay? So I think that's kind of how they want it to be. I did not want it to be as oversized as it is, because when you look in the clip, you'll see here that it is about as oversized as the designer shows it in their video or in their picture. I didn't want it that much. I actually wanted it in. So I measured, remeasured, watched videos about measurements, and then remeasured again. And I figured that I only wanted a very small amount of, excuse me, a very small amount of positive E's. And for that, I needed to make either an extra small or a small. I figured out an extra small, like the very first size of this. And I'm normally, right now, I'm about 5'1" and like a half, and I'm around 185-ish pounds. So I'm wearing mostly extra larges, some 1Xs, some larges, anywhere from a large to a 1X right now in most clothing. So at first I figured, oh, I'll just have a large. But when I measured it, way too big. So then I was like, okay, we're gonna make the extra small. I started making the collar the normal way. And then as I was doing it, number one, I didn't use the right needle size. I forgot to go down. And then I went, whatever. I had to rip it out. And then that's when I decided, you know what? I'm going to try for a folded collar because I know the other way is going to bother me and I'll never wear it. So I did my research. I figured out how to do a folded collar. Like I said, this is nothing perfect. I'd like to add some elastic just to kind of bring it in a little bit, but I don't have any right now. So I might get around to it. I don't know. So I went ahead, did the collar, and then I saw Nora Knits. And Nora from Nora Knits made this sweater. I don't know when she started it. I don't remember if I started before she did, but I put it off for a long time. And so then she finished her sweater before I was very far on mine. And again, maybe I just don't know how to look at my own body and other people's body. I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure, she is much taller than me, I think. But I thought our size was pretty similar. And when I saw her make it, at least if I remember correctly, it looked like, I think she made a size large, and it looked relatively, it wasn't too baggy on her. That's what I can say. I don't remember if it was like fitted, but I remember it wasn't super baggy. And then I thought to myself, oh no, did I do something wrong? Like when I did the measurements, did I not do it right? I still have a lot of issue with sizing and measurements and stuff like that. And I thought, I don't want to start knitting this up again, and then I make it and it's too small and then I got to rip it out. I'm just going to make the large because I'm a large. This shouldn't be too bad, whatever. And then I just kind of committed from there on. I started making it, I was kind of putting it on as I went, and I'm like, this is going to be kind of big, I think. And then I was just like, I'm not ripping it out again. I'm just going to keep going. And if it's big, whatever, we'll deal with it, which it is. It is quite large on me, but it looks like what the designer seems like it was intended for. So I don't know. Lots of people have really oversized baggy sweaters and they love it. Now, let's talk about the arms, because my arms are not like their arms. They are different. So what happened was, if you, and maybe some of you all know this, if you are a person who is plus size, but petite as in short, measurements don't always work out. Because if you're making this in a size large, the pattern is going to assume you're taller, because most of the time when you're wearing a large, you tend to be taller than if you were shorter. At least that's my experience of working with items. If I get a large shirt, the sleeves are going to be too long, that sort of thing. So I realized as I started going down the first sleeve that it starts, this one, I said in a size large, it starts at here, right about there. It starts with 80 stitches, and you have to get down to 48, if I remember right. And it gives you obviously how often you're supposed to decrease, and all of the decreases are here. As you can see, it's all on one side. So it doesn't decrease around, it just decreases on the one side. And so as I'm going, I'm doing my regular decreases, and I get to about here on my hand. I still have probably about yay amount left to even hit the cuffs. So that's when I realized I'm gonna have to shorten the sleeves. So what I did was I went online, I Googled knitting calculator, because from what I remember, you can use different knitting calculators to help you figure things out. The one I went to, I believe, is worldknit.com. I'll have it linked down below. And if you scroll down, because there's making increases, making decreases, I think in general, and then there's sleeves, increasing, decreasing. So what I did is I knew that I needed to get from 80 stitches to 48 stitches, and I knew already from where I started to where I hit about where my cuff was going to be, I think it was about 30, it was 30 some rows, I think it was about 38 rows. And so I was like, okay, I need to get to the ribbing by at least 38, and then if it goes down, I can kind of push it up. That's okay. So I just put it in, and it gave me exactly what I needed to do. So what I did was I went ahead and kind of just, we did some ribbing on this just so that I could kind of bind it off so I could be done. And then I goes, I'll come back and redo it. And then I went to the other arm and I did that. And then I had the issue of the ribbing. Now I'm still not 100% happy with this ribbing. Let me explain why. And it's probably just the yarn itself, but I really wanted more like, hard to show. I wanted a much thinner cuff, if that makes sense. Like I wanted it to almost kind of balloon out like this. I don't know if I'm making much sense. Then it's kind of the same. Like it doesn't dip in a lot. So I feel like it's just a little too loose. Now, when I first did it, it says in the pattern, unless I'm reading it incorrectly, you use the same needle size that you do from the stockinette into the ribbing. And I tried that at first and I felt it was way too loose, didn't like it. So then I ripped it out and I decided to go down an entire needle size. So the sleeve was done in a 5mm. I went down to a 4mm, and it's better. It's better than it was, but I'm still not happy. So I don't know if taking it down to a 3 would have been better and would have made it better, or if it's just how the yarn is, and I don't know. It's not horrible, honestly, but yes. And then I had to go back, rip out the entire other sleeve, and then follow the same instructions for my own shortened sleeve. So that's a trick for you guys. If you didn't know before, and let's say you need to shorten something or lengthen something, just try to figure out where you're starting and then where you need to go. And you can measure like, okay, it's about an inch for, 4 rows equals an inch. I need to get so many inches. That's however many rows. You can put that into the calculator and then it'll give you a little paragraph and it'll say exactly what you need to do. So that was really helpful for me because, I didn't want to do the math. My brain is absolute mush nowadays. The other thing is that I did German short rows up by the collar on the back, and I don't think I did too bad. However, and I don't know how hard this is to see, but if you look very carefully, yeah, you can see it here and here, where I did some of the wrap and turns. It's a little bit holy. Now, you're not really going to notice it because it's around the back of my sweater, and I don't think anybody's really looking back there, especially if my hair is down or whatever. Most people aren't checking anyways. So it's not too bad, but I still have some learning to do. But overall, I'm really happy that I finished a sweater. So like I said, this pattern itself is not too bad. I do think you could do modifications like with the cuffs. I wish patterns would give more collar options because not everybody likes turtlenecks. I feel like a lot of things have turtlenecks. So that would be nice just as a beginner. Some other people, I think I'm going to start looking into doing the collar last. I saw an entire video from, I cannot think of her name. I'll link it down below. maybe I can put it here, at least on TikTok. I don't know if she has YouTube. She talked about how she does almost all of her sweaters, everything that she does, collar goes last, which I guess makes sense. I've never done the collar last, but that might actually be a better idea. So you can get an idea. And she said that it doesn't pull on the collar as much. And there's just like a few benefits to that. And then you can kind of decide how you want to do the collar instead of doing it first. So I don't know, but I am real proud of me that I got my first sweater done. I've learned a lot of lessons from it, and I don't think I'll be using this yarn again. It's just too much. I think I understand now where people come from, that if you can not buy acrylic, don't, because I still have acrylic for some other things that I need to use up, and I will, and I'll still use this. I really will. Again, I haven't blocked it and or washed it, so I don't know how that's going to work. We're just going to give it a try and see what happens. I did find somewhere in here, I missed an end. Where was that? I missed an end somewhere. I saw a string somewhere. I don't know. There was a lot of ends in here because I had to use multiple skeins and everything, but I'm so proud of me. Yay me. So let's get on to whips. I have a few, and I'm going to kind of update you on some other things that I haven't really done anything on. So let's talk about it. Okay, now I want to talk about some whips that I'm potentially going to retire. I just don't have the motivation to do it. I worked on it for a while, and then I said no. And that is these Taylor Swift mittens. They are gorgeous. I have a person who I think would love them. I'm still here. I haven't gotten any farther than this. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what you saw the last time that I was making them. I don't know. Me and color work, we're just not cool right now. It's just not what I want to be doing. Like I said, life has been lifing for me. I have a lot of stressful things going on right now. And it's like my brain just can't handle that complexity of trying to figure out catching floats and going back and forth and very small needles with very small yarn. I just don't have it in me. So I think what I'm going to do is retire these, put it on some string, and then if over the summer or some other time in the fall I feel like picking this back up and making them, I will make them for that person for next year. I don't think they're gonna not become a Taylor Swift fan by next year, and if they do, I'll rip this out and they'll never be any the wiser, because I'm almost 100% sure they do not watch these videos. So I don't think they have any idea, and I didn't tell them I was making them for them. So I'm pretty sure these mittens are gonna go. I just don't have it in me. I don't know. Maybe for my first color work, I need to do something with thicker yarn so that it's not just, this is just hell on earth, honestly. And following a chart that is like this, it's not even an easy thing of like, oh, you're just doing the same thing over and over, so it's not a complicated chart. This is a complicated chart because the stripes are easy. Honestly, if it was just stripes the whole way, I could do that and get it done. But trying to remember where the letters and the this and the that, and once it gets to the face on the other one, no, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be like, yep, this is what I want to do, and I'll pick this up, but not today. The next whip that I have, I don't physically have it with me right now. I think it's downstairs, but is this crocheted heart blanket. This one is not going to go on ice. I actually am going to start picking that back up and working on it because I need to get going. It's going to be a big blanket, and I need to get it done by, I believe, the beginning of May, if I'm correct. And I know that's 2 months away, but it's going to be a huge blanket. I think it's going to be almost close to a king size blanket if I got my measurements correct, or queen size, one of the two, which either is huge and I need to get going, especially if something were to happen and I need to order more yarn. I need to make sure that I can take the time to order it because I ordered the yarn online. It's not like I can get it in person. It's from Knit Picks. So, you know, that could take a week for me to get yarn. So I need to make sure I'm not working on it last minute and then I run out. I mean, I could just make it shorter. I guess I don't really think that makes a difference, but I want to make sure I get that done. So that heart blanket is going to be something I'm going to be picking up and working on for the next 2 months a little bit more religiously. I put it off for a while because I just didn't feel like it, but we're going to get it going. That's one of the very few gifts that I'm going to be making this year. Those mittens were supposed to be gifts. That's why I said, if I want to do it later, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. This is the year that I'm not going to force myself to do any gifts if I really don't want to, but I do want to get this blanket done. The person is so craft worthy, I guess. People usually say knit worthy or crochet worthy, I guess. They're 100% worth it. And I really do. I do enjoy doing it. I just kind of haven't gotten around to it. I don't know. Whatever. But I will. So that's going to be one of my whips over the next couple months. So I will update you on the progress. Honestly, it's the same pattern over and over and over with different colors. So it's not like you're going to see much progression other than like, hey, this is how much I've gotten done. Hey, you know. So maybe the next time I update you, I'll just kind of let you know of how many inches I've gotten done or how many rows, how many hearts I've gotten done. Maybe that's what we'll try to figure out. Yeah. Okay. My next whip is actually in my purse. This is a vintage, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, Kodak travel tote. And the inside, I'm gonna show you this way. You'll see the yarn, but the inside is furry. I found it at the thrift store because I wanted something that was crossbody. I got 2 little pins in it. I wanted something that was crossbody and not too big that I could use when I'm interpreting or doing my job. And I just usually, try not to get my microphone here. I usually have it like this, and then the purse is more in the back, so you're not really seeing it. And then sometimes I even clip, if I don't have anywhere to clip my little badge for work, I'll clip it right on my purse, and then there you go. So it works out that way. So however, I do like to, if possible, keep a little knit project in my bag so that if I have some downtime or whatever, I can just pull it out. And this is what I've been working on. This is where you're going to be like, Jill, you said you can't. Oops.
A few moments later.
Okay, sorry about that. You're going to be like, Jill, you said that you don't like anything on your neck. That's why you don't like turtlenecks. I'm making a cowl, which goes directly on your neck. However, here's the thing. It goes like, it touches here, and then it's really loosey-goosey in this area, and then like I could like stick it on my chin. You can even pull it over your head. I'm going to show you 2 different photos. So this is one photo where it shows it like on the neck, you know, like this. And then here's a photo showing it that it literally can go over your head. I'll show this side. Like yay. So this looks funny because it's not coming down over my neck. Well, you can literally stick it over your head like this. I know, that looks really funny. My hair goes crazy. So this is Manic Punk Fiber, Self-Care. It's 80/20 merino. And one of the things that's really cool about this is I'm getting pretty close to, all I have left is I have the ribbing, stockinette, and then ribbing. And this is, I want to say at like 9 inches. It says to go to about 12. But I'm almost, I think, to where I want to go and start the ribbing again. But what I like about this is that you don't, I mean, here, I'll show you like what, so this is what it looks like just itself, right? It looks really cool. But what I love about the knitting or just changing how you knit is how the yarn shows its color. So again, I'll show you this. It pools quite a lot here in the ribbing, and then it looks way more speckled in the stockinette. So I'm assuming, obviously, once I get back to the ribbing here, it's going to pool. So it almost looks like I have 2 different dyed yarns between this, and that's just from how you knit. So it just goes to show that if you're working with a certain hand-dyed yarn, and you start making something and you're like, ooh, I don't like the way that looks, the pooling is funny, or it looks different, maybe take that yarn, try to use it for something different. Like, I honestly like this speckled a little bit more than I like the pooled part of the ribbing. I'm not gonna like redo it or anything, but it just goes to show that maybe if you're making something with ribbing with this and you're like, ooh, I don't like how this is pooling, use it for stockinette. Or the opposite, you might really like how this comes out with the pooling effect instead of the more kind of speckled confetti effect, So you might want to do something with ribbing instead. And I've heard somebody say that before, that you really have to think about the type of stitches that you're going to use in a project if you have like anything that's not just a solid color. So this just goes to show you that is 100% true, because there you go. Right in one object, you could see the difference. So yeah, I literally only have a little bit left. I'll probably get this done, I'm assuming within a week or so, because I've been working on it every little chance I can. Now, the only thing I have to say, and I asked this on TikTok, the yarn does not feel as soft. The ribbing makes it a little bit softer, but like the stockinette, it feels almost starchy, crispy, I guess. It does not feel as soft as when you squish it in the hank. So somebody told me that as I wash it, block it and wash it, that over time this will get softer. So I really hope that's true, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit scratchy, but that should change over time. So once I'm done with this and I've blocked it, I will show you what it looks like, and hopefully I'll get a little bit of wear out of this before it gets too warm. So I think it's really cool. I love this yarn. I have an entire another cake of this yarn that I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with. Maybe I'll try to make some fingerless mittens or something. I don't know. I don't really use fingerless mittens much, but I got to figure out what I'm going to do with an entire another skein or hank of this yarn, because it's really pretty. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. That would be cool. Okay, the next whip that I have, and then I'm going to talk about a future plan. So I guess this would kind of be the last whip. The last whip that I have is in this really cool bag. So this is a new to me pre-loved bag. I got it off of a Yarn D-Stash Facebook group. Some lady had a ton of different bags, and this is Harry Potter. It's actually way bigger than I thought. It's a like a sock knitting bag, I guess. And this is pretty big for sock knitting, I would assume. But that is not what's in there, because I don't really knit socks. But what I'm making is, and it's not, you're gonna be like, whoa, there's a whole heck of nothing, is this. My yarn keeps getting all tangled. Okay, there's really almost nothing to this. So I apologize, but okay, this always keeps, this keeps getting all tangled, because I'm right in the middle of a row, but okay. Gosh, this is horrible. Okay. This is literally all I have. Wait, is this all? Okay, there we go. Wait a sec. Okay. This is literally all I have, is this much. And the bottom looks blue because it's a yarn that you'll take out, you know, a provisional cast on. So that's not going to be blue at the bottom. But that is that. I literally just have a tiny amount. This is going to be this easy rib tank. So you can't even really see the ribbing much, because this is an extremely variegated type of yarn sort of thing. I know this looks absolute insanity, but I'll show you what the yarn in the cake looks like so that you can kind of see the coloring of it. So this is the yarn in the cake. So I think it's going to come out very pretty. Yeah, I think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. Like, there's not too much done. It is actually really hard to work with, the needles and the yarn that I have. It's really slippery, I think, due to the metal needles and the type of yarn. This is yarn from Alchemist's Whim. It's called Superfluicious, I believe is how you say it. I just happened to find it at a local kind of craft store, just a very small store. They do have some yarn that they have. They have a lot of finished products, different things out there. And I just happened to go in one day because I was having a real garbage day and I needed to get out. So I literally just walked down to my little place. I went in there and I found 3 hanks of this yarn. I wish I would have found one more. I don't remember if they had another one. I just didn't get it, or they only had the 3 because there was something else I wanted to make with it, and I literally could have just used 50 more grams, but that's okay. So I'm going to try to make this easy tank. I've never made a tank top before. I've made a lot of things before. As long as I've been, I think, I've been knitting for like, I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years. And I just feel like I haven't made a ton of the stuff that most people have made, like sweaters and shirts and all of that. I ended up making other smaller things for people, and I don't know. So anyways, that is my last whip in this little bag. This is not quite as easy so far because of how fiddly it is right now. And I don't know, it's really fiddly, but I like this bag. It's really cute. We love bags. Now, I'm gonna talk about something that I really hope that I can get done in time. My mother's birthday is April 16th. I almost said it wrong. My mom's birthday is the 16th. Me and my spouse's wedding anniversary is the 17th. That's just how it happened. And my mom's had a kind of tough year. My dad's had some health problems very recently, which is why life is lifing. And she's just had a lot going on. And so I wanted to make her something very special. And I'm hoping I can get this done. But I want to make her an emotional support chicken. And now there's more than one reason why I want to do it. One, it actually fits her home's aesthetic. She's very country, as in rustic country. I don't know how to describe it. Not like redneck southern country, but like primitive country. I guess that's what you call it. I don't know. Maybe I can set a picture here of kind of what I'm talking about so you'll understand what that means. And so an emotional support chicken I actually think would look really good depending on the colors that I use. And I have a bunch of stuffing that I need to use. And then also what I want to do is, she's not going to be able to see this, but I can tell her that it's there and you'd be able to like feel it inside. I want to take, let's get this out. I want to take this blanket. This blanket, it actually has like my grandma's name in this. This blanket was not anything that she made, but when she was in the nursing home and when she went back to my parents' house, and then, got sick and passed away, this is one of the last blankets that she used while she was there. And my mom asked me, do you want this blanket? And I said, yes, I do. Now, I haven't used this blanket a ton, but what I want to do is I want to cut some of this blanket because otherwise I think we're just not going to use it. And so I'm going to cut some of this blanket, make it into a heart, and maybe get like, almost like a squeaker, but not really, like something that's solid, and then make the heart around it. And then put it inside the emotional support chicken so that in a sense, my mom has a little bit of my grandma to like hold on to, if that makes sense. I think that she's really going to like it. I don't know if anyone's ever done anything like that before, but like I said, it's not like she's going to, and I might even, if possible, try to take some of the blanket and make it into the little wobble and the little crust. I don't know what that's called. The little thing that goes, that. If I can. I'm not sure if I can do that because I don't incorporate material into knitting, and I don't know. We'll see. But I have, about an entire month and a week or so because I'd have to mail it out to her. I don't live close by. So I'm hoping I can get that done. I don't think it takes that long to do from what I remember, from what other people are saying. And I'm hoping, I think the pattern you can use worsted weight. It might just be a little bit bigger. I'm not really sure. I have to double check. I don't have the pattern. It's just an idea. I think it'd be a good idea because, like I said, even though she won't necessarily be able to see the little heart inside, she could squeeze the chicken and feel it, or she'll just know that it's there. Do you know what I mean? So, because my mom is really close to her mom, just like I'm close to my mom. And even though my grandma's been gone for multiple years now, my mom still has a lot of connection to her. And I think this would just be really nice for her because, like I said, we don't live close to each other. We talk every day, sometimes multiple times a day, but it's just not the same as physically being there. So like maybe this can just like give back a little bit. So I'm hoping to get that done and get it to her for her birthday. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think of that idea? Has anyone ever done that before? I just figure it's an emotional support chicken. So like give the people what, I don't know. That's what I want to do. So like I said, I have, of course, other ideas that I want to do, but I want to get through this cowl. And then I want to continue on the rib tank, and then work on the blanket and the chicken. So those are the 4. The cowl's going to be done soon, so I should just have the 3. And with the blanket, I have 2 months to do it. I think that should be enough as long as I'm doing at least a couple rows every week. The emotional support chicken, like I said, I don't think it should take that long depending on how much time. I don't know. I don't think it should take that long. This depends on how much I can dedicate to that. And then the rib tank, honestly, I don't need to get it done super quick because honestly, that would be used more for summer. I'm not going to be able to wear it under like my work clothes or anything because it's very colorful and I can't do that. So I'll mostly just wear it around the house or in the summer. So I'm not really in any hurry to get that done. Maybe once I've gone up a couple more inches in it, it might hold on the needles a little bit better, and then it won't be so hard and fiddly, and it's just horrible right now. So anyway, that is that. I really haven't gotten any acquisitions other than, like I said, I acquired this bag. I am trying my hardest not to buy any yarn if I don't have to, because number one, I want to save my money because I'm hoping and praying that I'm going to be able to go to Rhinebeck this year for the, oh my gosh, what's it called? The Wool and Sheep Festival? Is that what it is? Or is that the one in Seattle? It's the one that's here in New York at Rhinebeck, the Rhinebeck Festival. I know that's not what it's called, but I'm hoping to save most of my money for there. I already booked a room there that is within walking distance to the festival, so that hopefully I don't have to park and worry about that. I literally did it last year before even the other 2024 because I was like, I just want to do it way ahead of time. So I've already paid for that, and I want to save my money so that I can buy lots of yarn there, hopefully, like find projects and then find the yarn that I want for those projects. So this was only $15, shipping included. And it was just really cute, so I got that. This is not really an acquisition, but I forgot I had this bag and it was put away, and I found it again. Yes, it is exactly what you think it is. No, I don't think I can say that word on here. I'm pretty sure, but if you think it is what you think it is, it is. This was handmade by Emily. Handmade, I think her name is Emily, but it's 1, 2, 3 M's and then ILY. I will link her down below if I can find that information. This is that handmade. I got it at a festival here, I don't know, last summer or the summer before that maybe, but I totally forgot that I had it. I put it somewhere and I found it again, and I'm so excited. So I'm using this bag, the Harry Potter bag, and that's pretty much what I'm using other than my purse. And like I said, the bag that I use for the blanket is gonna have to be a pretty large bag after a while. So we're just gonna kind of keep putting it in larger, larger bags, and probably eventually I will not be able to take it around with me unless I literally, and just in my car, or yeah, because blankets get pretty big and then you just can't, they're not portable. I almost said travelable. That's not a word. So that's that. All right, that is the update. I know it's been, what, like almost a month since, or maybe a month by the time I film this, edit this, and put everything together since I did my last video. I'm so sorry. I really want to be more consistent with my videos, but in all honesty, the past month has been absolute HE double hockey sticks for me. I've had multiple mental breakdowns. I've just cried and cried and cried almost every day about many things, and I feel like each day just keeps getting worse as it goes. I never have a day where something I feel like horrible doesn't happen. The world is on fire, everything else going on, and then just in my personal life, having issues with things on top of all of that makes the world and my life just feel so scary that I honestly just didn't feel like getting in front of the camera and taking that time to, in a sense, like self-care. This is self-care for me because it kind of gets me away. It lets me just kind of talk to people who, I don't know, like we have something in common with our knitting, our crochet, our crafting. I really need to, I have a local group that is like a crafty group. I think it's mostly knitting, but it also does like crochet too. And I know they have meetups and stuff, and I'm so petrified to go. You would think, as somebody who does YouTube and all this other stuff and an interpreter, I'm working with different people all the time, that I would be much more outgoing person, but I'm not. I'm very much an introvert, and I try very hard not to do that because I know it would be good for me, but I'm so afraid of going and either it being just all young people and I don't fit in, or what if I go and it's just people I have nothing in common with other than knitting and I can't connect to them. I don't know what I'm so afraid of. I mean, I could go and that could happen and then I just don't go back. And then also just making the time for it, honestly, between work and kids and other family and other life things going on. It's just been, I don't know. I'm not making the time for myself. I intended to like get a haircut and do all this stuff and take care of myself, and I just don't. So we're going to work on it, hopefully. Like I said, I might have to do some traveling back home to help take care of family soon. I have one of my kids' birthdays is coming up. My spouse's birthday is coming up. We got quite a lot of things, but I'm going to try my best to make some time for myself for this because I do enjoy it. So I'm sure anyone who does YouTube will understand that making videos and connecting with other people on things that you love to do is very fulfilling. Sometimes you just don't make time for that. So thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate anyone who comes here, watches my videos, talk about what you guys are making because I love seeing things. Oftentimes I'll watch other dating podcasts and be like, oop, I'm going to make that, add it to the list. Whoop, I'm going to make that, add it to the list, which I don't actually have the time for. But maybe if you guys leave something in the comments of what you're doing, I might be like, add that to the list. And then I'll bump out something else that I was going to do and be like, nope, we're going to do this. That's why when people have the make 9, like what the 9 things I'm going to make this year, I tried to figure out something. I made like a little Pinterest board and all that. But you know what? I'll say like, I'm going to make this, 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 and this. And then I see something else and I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm actually going to make this now. I don't think I have the patience or the willpower to be like, I'm going to make these 9 things. That's what I'm going to work on for the entire year. I'm not going to stray. Because then I see something else or the thing that I was like, oh yeah, I want to make that months later. I'm like, no, I don't want to make that anymore. So I don't know. Maybe that's how other people, they start with the make 9 and then they just kind of adapt it as they go throughout the year. So I don't know. Do you guys have a make 9? Please let me know because I'd love to see what you guys are doing in your make 9. Okay, thank you as always. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell because you just never know when my videos are going to come out because consistency, who is she? I know that's what you need to do, but this girl doesn't have it right now. Maybe in a couple months, I'll be much more consistent. So, all right, again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.